What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. So to start this one off, we have a recent physique update from Regan Grimes, who's finally announced that his year-long offseason is coming to an end and contest prep begins. Now, Regan's actually reached the 300-pound mark on the scale, and although he says that 300 pounds is starting to feel, comfortable for him, I'm sure comfortable is kind of relatively speaking, but there's no denying the gains that Regan has made over the last year. But the question is it enough? Regan has a lot of expectations on him. The bodybuilding world has been waiting for him to put on the necessary size to stand next to the upper echelon of bodybuilders out there. He's always been recognized for his shape, his presentation, his flow, and his potential. Now, when I first saw this update, honestly, my gut reaction is that I just don't know if it's enough to really stand with the top tier guys. I need to see him in a lineup, really. He's improved, for sure, but I still think he might need more size. And according to his latest post, the time to put on significant size is over. So now that Regan has reached the peak of his offseason, has Regan done enough? That's the question. I can tell you guys right now, I've been waiting for Regan to show up, and I think when he finally does, he'll be very dangerous in any lineup. I'll be looking forward to Regan trying to qualify in a show with some of these top tier guys. I want to see him try and qualify against like Andrew Jacked or Michael Crizzo, or even both of them. Anyway, let me know down in the comments section, where would you guys like to see Regan compete? And who would you like to see him go up against? So as Regan finishes up his offseason, we're just seeing the start of a full-blown offseason for the butcher, Brett Wilkin. So Brett dropped a bit of a physique update where he's sitting around 275 pounds right now and is looking to make a big statement at his 2023 Olympia debut. Now, Brett has a clear advantage over many competitors out there right now since he's already qualified for the 2023 Olympia. He earned his qualification back in November 2022 when he went up against Andrea Presti at the Big Man Weekend, and that earned him a very early qualification. It was a battle with Andrea, but Brett came out the victor. So I'm sure Brett's taking this offseason to just put on overall size, really. That's all he needs. He has great shape, great proportions, especially considering he hasn't even made his Olympia debut yet. I really think Brett would benefit from just a bit more outer quad sweep near the hip tie-in from the front to really give his legs that symmetry. His back is incredible. He had great separation from the back at the Big Man Weekend, so it's probably safe to say that he's even bigger now and that his back is even wider than it was at the Big Man Weekend. Brett is another highly anticipated competitor on the scene right now, and he's actually known to just be a presence in the gym. Just a great training partner to have. He puts out really good vibes, and I think his attitude is part of what's really going to carry him far in this sport. Really excited to see his progress. We'll follow him every step away, right up until the Olympia. Alright, next up, we have an update from Patrick Moore, who's currently 10 weeks out from the Cali Pro, where he'll face off against the Predator, Tony O'Burton. So Patrick is actually in a position much like the Olympia competitors were leading into the Arnold Classic. Patrick is basically continuing off, already in decent condition, right into the Cali. Now yes, Patrick could have been more conditioned at the Arnold, and we've been waiting for him to show up with that 29 Olympia look again. We've been dying for him to show up, actually. But he took the Arnold on very short notice. He had 7 weeks to prepare, and I think for an intense 7-week prep, Patrick showed up really as well as he could have. And these recent updates are pretty encouraging that he's going to come in even better at the Cali. I've always been a big fan of Patrick, and I want to see him nail it this time and, shock the world again. He has great structure, mass with class for sure. Now, he may still need a bit more size in the legs and just overall size to really become one of the top tier bodybuilders. But if he comes in really peeled at the Cali Pro, it might just give a bit more illusion of overall size than he had at the Arnold. He's got some tight competition in Tony O'Burton, so he's going to have to show up in shape or risk missing out on another Olympia qualification. The Cali is one of the best shows on the West Coast, so it should be a good one to watch. Now, as we make our way north on the West Coast, Shaun Clarida is currently making a Canadian appearance, which is pretty cool. Shout out to all my Canadians out there. Shaun is doing some filming with Mutant in British Columbia. Mutant is actually a Canadian-based company for those who didn't know. And we get a glimpse of Shaun's rebound after the Arnold. And it's crazy how much this guy filled out really since the show. Now, we know that Shaun is planning on taking some time away from the stage to spend quality time with his growing family, and of course, he's already qualified for the 2023 Olympia in the 212. But you know, Shaun was nowhere near the weight cap in 212. He was around 190 at the Arnold, so, I mean, look, he had no restrictions there. I'd say Shaun is one of the few, if not the only 212 competitor that could treat the 212 as if it was open bodybuilding. He really doesn't have to worry about hitting 212 pounds. I mean, another 20 plus pounds of stage weight on 5'2" Shaun Clarida? I just don't even see him being able to put on that much muscle. But of course, Shaun has no need to do that. Now, the Arnold was great for Shaun to be a part of that open lineup. He was a great addition, but he's going to stick with 212. I mean, he's the champ, and he'll continue to be the champ. Of course he will. Shaun just needs to show up in shape with those crazy lines and proportions, and Shaun still has a fair few 212 Olympia wins in his future, I think. So, although we won't see him on stage anytime soon, I think his off-season updates are going to be pretty ridiculous to see too, so I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, that's it for me in this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning into EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.